Hey everybody, my name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. I wanted to thank you for listening to this episode of The Morning Show. I'm the creator, the producer, and the host of the show. We want you to check out our website. It's themorningshowwithnatalie.com. You can go to that website. You can see all about our sponsors, all about the show. You can even listen to live episodes while they're going on right there from the website. Another way to listen to the show live is go to Live 365. You can download that app and just search for The Morning Show. It's right there. Super easy. We want you to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you will. That way you can keep up with what's going on The Morning Show. Thank you. I hope you enjoy it. My name is Natalie Duncan-Emmons. You are listening to The Morning Show. What a cool week it's been, featuring one of the coolest groups I've ever heard. I've never seen them in concert. That's something that I'm adding to my bucket list. But now that I've heard them, I sure want to. I think we've all fallen in love with the classic country sound of this country, gospel, and Americana group. They're known as Carolina the Band. And today we welcome Greg Fox to the Morning Show to talk all things Carolina. Welcome to the Morning Show, Foxy.
Hey, Miss Natalie, how are you today?
I'm good. We've been excited about having you on the show.
Oh, I'm just, you just don't know. It's always good to talk to folks from Mississippi.
You spent your share of time in Mississippi along the way.
Yes, I have, and I'm just honored to talk to you with Miss Natalie. And your show, I listened to your show this morning again, and I am listening now as we're speaking. And man, you do such a great job. I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that. You know, this has been a long time coming, having you on the show. I believe it's overdue.
Well, you're too kind. I don't know. I'm just no hillbilly mountain man from North Carolina, but I'm honored to be here.
We know what a big deal it is, and I guess it's better late than never. We fixed it today. It's going to be a good day on the morning show because little Foxy is here. Greg, we want to know about this group, Carolina. Believe it or not, this is a new group to us. I know we're way behind and we're trying to get caught up. Let's start with the sound. Wow, we have fallen in love with the sound of Carolina. If you like that thick, classic, what it's supposed to be like, that country quartet sound, well, you can't help but love Carolina. Who put the group together? Is that you, Greg?
No, ma'am. I'm actually just come on board about 3 years ago. Okay. Chris Roberts, we call him Doc. He's our tenor singer, and Scott Whitener, who Scott was with the Singing Americans for years. They put the group together. They were singing as a quartet with tracks back in the 90s called the Melody Masters Quartet, who, of course, Big Chief and Jake all came from. But they like the little more country flavor. They wanted to stay with the male, straight ahead quartet sound, but just dial it up a little bit country, a little bit more country flavored. And I was just sitting up here on top of the mountain, and they called me one Saturday and said, "Hey, our drummer is leaving. You want to come off the mountain and play?" And I thought, well, I thought I was go down there and fill in. And 3 years later, I'm still here.
You're still there. Well, you've certainly got the look for the group.
Well, when you live in the mountains where it's cold, you gotta wear all the hair and all the beard you can to stay warm.
Is that what it is? It's the weather.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's the style nowadays. So you're in style, Greg.
Well, I don't care about the style as long as we get the word out.
Well, that's true. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about Carolina. There's some different points that I want to make throughout the interview, and we're going to do that. We're going to stop right now and play one by Carolina. I love this song. It's called Down by the River, and I think it gives us a great feel to get things going from our new friends, Carolina. We'll be right back with Greg Fox.
Come on, it's not too far. Let's get on down to the river. Bouncing off the bottom, Lord, drowning in despair. Used to think there was no satisfaction anywhere. Now I'm walking every day, big smile on my face. Everybody's asking me where I found that state of grace. And where you been? Down by the river. Are you gone again? Down by the river. What you gonna do then? Down by the river. Get on my knees and pray. Gonna talk it out. Down by the river. What it's all about. Down by the river. Not a shadow of a doubt. Down by the river. Thank you, Lord, I'm saved. just like me. Rich, poor, and hypocrites all benefit the same. Make the trip, take the dip. Brother, you'll be glad you came. And where you been? Down by the river. Are you going again? Down by the river. What you gonna do then? Down by the river. Get on my knees and pray. Gonna talk it out. Down by the river. What it's all about. Down by the river. Not a shadow of a doubt. Down by the river. Thank you, Lord, I'm saved. Come on now. Let's go way down. You may have a high or low opinion of yourself, but either way, don't think that you're above nobody else. There's all kinds of right and wrong that we're all gonna do. Just keep in mind there comes a time when it'll be asked of you. Where you been? Down by the river. Are you going again? Down by the river. What you gonna do then? Down by the river. Get on my knees and pray. Gonna talk it out. Down by the river. What it's all about. Down by the river. Not a shadow of a doubt. Down by the river. Thank you, Lord, I'm saved. Where you been? Down by the river. Are you going again? Down by the river. What you gonna do then? Down by the river. Get on my knees and pray. Gonna talk it out. Down by the river. It's what it's all about. Not a shadow of a doubt. Thank you, Lord, I'm saved. And where you been? Are you going again? What you gonna do then? Get on my knees and pray. Gonna talk it out. What it's all about. Not one shadow of a doubt. Thank you, Lord, I'm saved. Oh, Lord, I'm saved.
Hey, Greg, there's an obvious theme, or maybe the word is priority, that Carolina has. If you go to the website, or if you look at the different albums, or even listen to very much of the music, it's not hard to see that it's patriotism.
Yes, ma'am.
You have entire albums that have been dedicated to American tunes, patriotic songs. It's extremely appropriate, and it's appreciated by your base. We can probably both agree that it's not necessarily popular these days.
Well, we're not a quartet that sings with a piano. We have a full band, and we believe our whole moniker is faith first, family second, and freedom. And it falls nothing wrong singing a good solid Americana kind of song. We do songs like Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree, for example. That came from the soldiers coming back from Vietnam. Our country and our American stand, we have to keep lifting it up. And we are different, but it allows us to get in venues that we couldn't go in with just four singers and a piano player or tracks. We just finished up a thing in Orlando playing for the Disney folks and the Florida Fair Association Livestock, and there were people there that had never heard gospel music. Wow. And we go in there with our Americana music and we'll sing a couple of songs, and then we let them have Down by the River, or we let them have I Don't Have to Stay, or Just a Little Talk with Jesus. And we get in venues, and we did that years ago with the Kingsmen. We would work fair dates, Neshoba County Fair.
Yeah, right here.
Neshoba out there in Mississippi, and that allowed us to get the Kingsman dad, and our pastor used to always say, hey, our pastor, Ralph Sexton Sr. and Ralph Sexton Jr., they always would say, hey, you will go to those places because you will sing more gospel music to those folks that they'll never darken the doors of a church.
Yeah.
And so just get out there and sow the seeds, and we do those songs again, like I say, to get us in those venues, because they'll book us for that. We'll go in there and do a couple of those real country kind of things, and then then we lay it to them.
Yeah. Well, you've got an opportunity, like you said, that the rest of us don't have. And a lot of these Southern gospel, purely Southern gospel groups, they will never get those opportunities. So I heard Bill Gaither say one time about the Oak Ridge Boys, that they were able to take the word into places that you were not welcomed. So,
That's
or
right.
we were not welcome, not Carolina, but you know what I mean? The other groups were not welcome.
In essence, you're right. we can go to places, and we don't play, the bar scenes and things like that. It's not a place, but to go into these quote unquote secular venues or go out and do a citywide festival where they're selling barbecue and hot dogs and popcorn.
Yeah.
And you go in there and you open up with Every Day, which is, it's just talking about, shaking somebody's hand. And all of a sudden they're listening, and then you can invert and start feeding them the Americana. We lift America up. We're here to respect our veterans and the soldiers that are still out there fighting for us in this country. And we put the Lord in there. I mean, we never do a show that we don't do Amazing Grace close to the end, but and move to that. Hey, we've got the story right here. This is what we're going to sing. This is what it's all about. Yeah. And you're right. They won't accept the four. And, there's churches out there that won't take us. We understand.
Right. It does. It goes both ways. And I think there's a place for each one.
Absolutely. God wants us to be servants first. We serve him, we serve our family, and then we serve our country and our friends. And if we're sowing the seed, he's going to honor it, and he'll see that it goes on and on and on. We're here to lift up the church, and we're here to be rah-rah and, pep rallies for the church and things like that. But our job is to sow seeds and bring people into the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ. And as long as we can do that, man, what better places to go than people that need it?
Absolutely. Well, you keep singing where the Lord opens the door and where he sends you. There's a purpose for it. There's a plan. And we're on your side, Greg Fox.
Well, we appreciate the people. They have been so kind to us everywhere we go. We just finished up down at Singing Sun in Myrtle Beach with Ray Flynn and all those folks. Sang with the Wisnants, sang with everybody. The Gaither vocal band was there on Friday, and we were there with Brian Free and Karen Peck. We sing it all there. Singers, Jeff and Sherry. We're working with Jeff and Sherry Friday tonight as you're airing this video, this interview. We're down in Shelby at the great country songwriter Don Gibson Theater, who wrote many, called him the sad poet. He has a theater down there, and his wife Bobby is still alive, and we're having gospel music for Memorial Day right down there with Jeff and Sherry, and in that secular venue, and there'll be people there that have never heard gospel music, there'll be people that love gospel music, and they're there to hear Jeff and Sherry and Carolina the band.
Yeah. Go ahead. You go right ahead and do it. Those city days and the barbecues and the fairs that you're talking about, that's about as American as it gets. We love that patriotic music. There's one I want to play today, and I think I've listened to a lot of this music that you've sent me. I think my favorite patriotic song that you have that I've heard so far is called Everyday American. I was talking to my sister about this song. A lot of people try to put a patriotic song out there. They try to do this, but a lot of times it's not done well. I don't think I've ever heard a gospel patriotic song put out there by a group like this done any better than this song. You nailed it with Everyday American. Did you guys write this?
No, a songwriter from down in Nashville wrote it for us, and it has become our theme song. It really has. No one else has ever cut it, and it was pitched to Brad Paisley. It was pitched to Brad, and he turned it down, and we took it. And it's been great for us. It's just a moving song. I mean, it's all about being an American, and that's what we need: God-fearing Americans.
That's what we need. This song is firm. It's a firm song, and I believe if there's ever been a time to be firm as Americans, it is right now. Here's Carolina the band with the song that I love, Everyday American.
I'm anything but part of an organized angry mob. I'm just a guy that's out here trying to hold down a job in a land that Washington's forgot. I'm an everyday American. I'm sick of the corruption in our government. Who's watching out for how we and where our money's spent. Don't insult the intelligence of the everyday American. Men have fought and died and sacrificed to keep this country free. And those who want to take all that away are gonna have to go through me. I'm an everyday American. They put me down and call me names if I disagree. And I'm tired of their political hypocrisy. I'll tell you what this country needs is an everyday American. Men have fought and died and sacrificed to keep this country free. And those who want to take all that away are gonna have to go through me. And a bunch of everyday Americans. I play by the rules and I make my own way. I'm not afraid to take a stand, 'cause that's how I was raised. I'm neither a Republican or Democrat, and I wish the evening news would just give us the facts. Would that be too much to ask for an everyday American? Well, men have fought and died and sacrificed to keep this country free. And those who want to take all that away are gonna have to go through me. I'm an everyday American, just an everyday American.
Greg, I wanted to point out today that not only do you sing gospel music and you sing patriotic music, but you have revived classic country. And that's something that's been missing a long time in the country music market, is that classic country sound. You have albums that are dedicated to the classic American country tunes. I mean, songs like, that go way back. And I'm not even talking about country of the 80s and 90s. We're talking classics like I'd Like to Teach the World to Sing and Turn, Turn, Turn. What a great song. Home on the Range. The one you mentioned, Tie a Yellow Ribbon Around the Old Oak Tree. Everybody's going to know that. These are true classics. And I can't express how important I believe it is to put out this clean, wholesome, positive music for everybody to enjoy. We love gospel music. Honestly, I'm at a point in my life where I really don't even listen to very much secular music, but it's vital to put out this music of this quality that Christians can listen to as an alternative to what is on the radio today.
It's very important. You know, Miss Natalie, where you are, and I was born and raised in North Carolina, in the South, but all across our country, we've been raised on these kind of songs, these country songs. Again, like you just said, Stop and Smell the Roses is a song that came out in the 70s by Mac Davis. And it just tells us what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to sow the seed and stop and smell the roses a little bit. Again, Turn, Turn, Turn. But the new country record, our new single is Take Me Home, Country Roads. Just positive country music that's just the country audiences are really, they're really wanting. I have 9 grandchildren, and my grandchildren want to listen to Papaw's music is because they can sing it. It's simple and it's meaningful. It's clean. There's no, you're not going out there chasing a woman, or you're not drinking in the bar and right. That's okay. and God can get you there. But if you're listening to gospel music, my goodness, we used to be on our bus when I was with the Kingsmen and right up through today. We listened to the old Jerry Reed songs, the old Roy Clark, Ernest Tubb. There was nothing wrong with that music, and it's Americana. It is country, but again, like we talked earlier, the Americana music and the country music gets us in that places that we can feed them the gospel music. And you won't find. I've been on the road longer than dirt. And I work with fellas that I love. I wouldn't have come off the mountain just for anybody. These guys love what they're doing. They serve the Lord and they work on their craft. My dad taught me many, many years ago, son, just keep working on your craft. Yeah. If you're a preacher, you work on it. You work on it. If you're a singer in a choir, if you're a DJ, whatever you continue to work on that craft and serve the Lord first, and he'll honor it. And he'll honor these country songs just like, nothing could be finer than to be in Carolina in the morning. Hey,
fun
I like
music.
There was a radio station here in Asheville. Well, I'm in Boone now, but it was back in Asheville. And our tenor singer, Chris, can tell you, WWNC radio, big time country station. Every morning, Scotty Road Armor would play Nothing Could Be Finer Than Being in Carolina. And then on my way to school, me and my dad sing it the whole way there and the whole way home.
Wow. Wow. What a memory. It's fun music. It's wholesome music. It's good music. I'm glad Carolina is putting it out there. Let's play. I was going to play I Can't Stop Loving You because I love that cut. But then you said that the new, what'd you say? The new single is Take Me Home Country Roads.
Yeah, but go ahead and play that. I want to tell you a little story about that. We were singing in a church up in Ohio. We just opened the night before with that song. First night we did it live. And we did it, and Bobby Gibson, whose husband, Dawn, was the writer, was there in the audience. And she paid us the greatest compliment. She said, except for my husband's cut of that song, Carolina does it's the best of everybody's ever. And I mean, that's Elvis and you name it. Yeah. And so what an honor. But the next night we were singing in a church up in Ohio. And the folks that had us in and the pastor said, I want you to sing that song tonight. And we thinking, well, here we are in the church. Okay. So we did. We sang it. And there was a fella, Miss Natalie, that was about, I don't know, 3/4 back in the middle of the sanctuary. He just began, tears just flowing through him. Just started. So I went to him at intermission and I said, sir, I just want you to know you blessed my heart tonight. He said, no, son. Y'all blessed my heart. I lost my wife 10 days ago, and you sung our favorite song tonight. Wow. And thank you so much. So God can use I Can't Stop Loving You.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the right way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a fantastic cut.
It's a great Chris sings it so good, man. He does great, and the fellows back him up. We just try to stay out of the way. He does so good.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. Here it is, Carolina. You're going to love this. I can't stop. Just a minute talking about the bass singer. I love all of the vocals. I love all of the players in the group. But I have to admit that this bass singer stands out to me. And I'm pretty swept away with this bass singer. Tell me who he is. Okay.
Our bass singer, you'll know his name. He's a little bit of Southern gospel royalty. He is Ivan Parker's nephew. His name is Chris Parker.
Wow.
And he's great. He sings our signature song of Everyday American. Love Will Turn You Around. Of course, the bass sing. You know what you started out the show with, Down by the River. That's Chris. And we have 3 Chris's in the group. Chris Parker's a bass singer. Chris Doc Roberts is a tenor singer. And Chris Powell is our keyboard player and backup vocalist. And so, but we call him Parker. But man, you could not find a better fella. And he can sing. He's still green. I mean, he's been singing with us for 5 years, but he's still green as a gourd, and he gets better with each record. I mean, he sings on the new country record, the old Plainsman song that they did for the John Wayne movie, way up north to Alaska, way up north to Alaska.
I saw that one on there.
don't realize that was Rusty Goodman singing that song. He sang
Wow.
on that song that back in the 60s for that TV show when he was with the Plainsman Quartet.
I had no idea. No
Yeah,
idea.
and we took that, and Chris, man, he's got a range that's incredible. And he's Chris, of course, and he does double duty. He's not only sings bass, but he plays bass for us, and that's hard to do. There's not been anybody in our industry.
I was just
except
fixing to say, Greg, I don't remember anybody ever doing that before.
Randy Allred, that used to be with the Dixie Echoes. Glenn Allred's son.
Okay.
He sang and played bass when it was Randy and Randy Shellnut and Dale Shellnut. That back part, that part. You don't remember those?
No,
names,
I
baby.
don't remember Randy Allred. I don't. Well, I guess you can tell by my song selection today that I'm really drawn to his voice. I think he's fantastic. Of course, learning that he's Ivan Parker's, you said nephew. He's Ivan's nephew. Yeah. Well, that explains a lot. Kind of this week, but I cannot have little Foxy on the morning show and not talk about the Kingsmen for just a couple of minutes. It wouldn't be right.
You're too kind.
You know, Greg, my earliest memories of gospel music ever, they go back to a 3-year-old little me sitting at the Jackson City Auditorium in Jackson, Mississippi, and watching the Kingsmen. And I can remember being mesmerized with Big Jim Hamill and the band. I was fascinated with that band. And if the Kingsmen were ever known for anything, it was the band. They were voted favorite band by the Singing News Fan Awards. I believe, was it 17? 17. What did 19. I miss it? 19 times. And you were a staple part of that. You were the consistent part through all of that. Most all of your life, right?
Yes, ma'am. I was the only one. And I'm just honored. It's nothing I have done or whatever. I was just honored. We won our first band award in 1978. It was myself, Nick Bruno, Gary Beaver Dillard playing steel and banjo, Jim McCauley playing bass, and my dad playing Fender Rhodes. And we won our last band award in 1999, and I was a part of that. So I was the only one who was on all of them, but it was just a great ride. And the band, we just, what it was not, it was just a conglomeration of guys that just wanted to do what the people wanted. And Big Jim would feature us every night. And man, those the folks in Jackson, we could sing. Lord, we'd start at 7 o'clock and we'd sing it till 1 in the morning. We could still be going.
Yeah, you do it all night long. I'd sit there. I was at some of those all night things, and it would just go on and on and on. And your energy never went down. You never lost the enthusiasm. As long as you were singing, it was right there, full force. Greg, you told me earlier that you started with the Kingsmen in 1976 at the age of 13.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Who starts anything at 13, especially a career? So you were there for decades. We've already established that you were that common thread that saw it all from beginning to end for as far as the success of the band when it started getting a lot of recognition. I wonder if it would be even appropriate for me to ask you this question. And if it's not, well, we'll just move right along. Who did you enjoy working with the most? There were different stages of the Kingsmen. There were different phases of the Kingsmen. So many amazing musicians, singers, so much talent. But you know, there were different versions of the Kingsmen along the way. Did you have a favorite?
You know, they were all I still believe Kingsmen. I'm telling you, the first band again in '78 was I loved them because that was my first one. But we had a band before that with a guy by the name of Chester Arms who played drums. He actually played for the Hensons when they come from the West Coast, and then they hired a new boy when they got to Nashville, and Dad hired Chester and a guy by the name of Bob Conley. And although they were playing in the band with Bruno before I started, but I guess they were my favorites. I always enjoyed playing with Gary Dillard, Beaver Dillard, man. Yeah. He was more than just, he was like a brother to me. He was like my big brother I never had. And man, he'd help me with my music. Nick Bruno, man, he taught me everything from reading charts to working with a metronome. I mean, we'd sit on the bus and Nick would be writing string charts for another group or a quartet or some, just writing out string staff. And I'd be playing along with a metronome. and I would miss something. I'd never think he heard it. And he'd say, wait a minute, back up and play that measure again. So those guys were special. And then you move right along, you have people like Anthony Berger. Yeah. Man, what a talent. I mean, the boy, when he came to the Kings, when he moved into the house, my house, and he and I took over my dad's den as our bedroom. Wow. And so, and then of course, Arthur, and, and then along comes Tim Surratt.
Yeah. He was one of my favorites.
Of course, the Mississippi boy, Andrew Ishii, man, what a musician he is. Yeah. Randy Miller, they're all, each one of them as a group were different, but yet, again, like you said, it was the excitement, and we let it go wide open. I mean, we never held back, and the people just accepted us. And to pick out, and then you start with the vocals, man. I grew up with these guys. I mean, I wasn't playing drums, but I mean, the original bunch with Dad on piano and McKinney brothers, and my nephew's dad, Frank Cutshaw. I mean, it was right up through John Parrott. Man, what a singer he is. Mm-hmm. It's just a legacy that my dad, Eldridge Fox, put together.
Absolutely. That
I could not only, he gave, the Lord gave me the eternal life, but my dad gave me physical life, and he led me to the Lord. He and Squire Parsons led me to the Lord in California when I was 14 years old.
Wow.
And they're doing a concert at La Mesa, California, in Faith Temple, looking down on Joe Roby Stadium in San Diego. And I knew the calling was on my life, and I reached and grabbed Squire in one hand, Dad in the other, and we went to the altar. So I can't pick a favorite bunch. It's tough. And of course, old Ray, man, he's just like I tell everybody all the time, I had extra dads, I had extra uncles, and I had extra brothers, and man, I loved them all, and we still stay in contact. Just talked to Wayne Maynard just the other day. He'd been going through some health things, but he's doing better now. Talk to Arthur all the time. Talk to Gary Shepard. Man, oh man, it's just it's a great time that I get to talk to my grandchildren about. They'll come and they'll say, "Papa, I saw you on YouTube."
Yeah. Without a beard.
That's it. I said, well, baby, I didn't grow that. I didn't start growing that until I come to the high country.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know one of my favorite memories of all of my entire life was when you guys would come to Jackson, to the city auditorium, to those all night singings. And my sister and I were just little girls that sang, and Jim Hamill would call us up on the stage and let us come up and sing. And that band would play for us to sing. And we felt like we were really something standing.
Well, you were. You were.
With that, band of the year. Because at that time, every year you were band of the year. And when you guys playing behind us and us getting to sing, that was kind of life changing.
Well, it was great to be able to do that. We were always honored when Jim said, "Hey, let's go." And the musicians we had in our band, they had great ears. Mm-hmm. So you guys take off on a song, we could hear where it was going. And again, we talked about, they were so talented. Those guys that I played with, I wasn't much, but they were great. And it was always great. And Jackson was special. Brother Roy treated us so well. First time I ever ate Popeye's chicken was in Jackson, Mississippi. And man, they just put one down near my mother's house in Candler in the Asheville area. And man, I can't wait to go see her just so I can go to Popeye's.
Go to Popeye's. You can't beat it.
One day old Elijah had some problems on the mountain. All alone he stood against 400 prophets of Baal. He said that the true God answered by fire upon the altar. When he prayed, the fire came down. You could hear Elijah yell. I'm glad I'm serving a God who's able to deliver. I'm glad I'm serving a God who's able to defend. I'm glad I'm serving a God who hears me when I'm praying. I'm glad I'm serving a God on whom I can depend. When this life is over, I'm standing in that city, gathered with the saints and the countless throng. Someone just might ask me why you're so happy, just like old Elijah. I'll sing that same song. I'm glad I'm serving a God who's able to deliver. I'm glad I'm serving a God who's able to defend. I'm glad I'm serving a God who who hears me when I'm praying. I'm glad I'm serving a God on whom I can depend. I'm glad I'm serving a God who's able to deliver. I'm glad I'm serving a God who's able to defend. I'm glad I'm serving a God who hears me when I'm praying. I'm glad I'm serving a God on whom I can depend. I'm glad I'm serving a God on whom I can
Another story about Jackson. A lot of people don't know. You probably do, but we did the Stand Up at Opryland album, the live album and live video. We did it in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay, hold on. I knew you did Mississippi Live. We did a live album in Mississippi called Mississippi Live. I know about that one. What are you saying?
We did
And
too.
you did too. No, I didn't know
We
that,
did.
Greg.
Song Stand Up, Meet Me at the Table, all those songs.
What?
Was in Jackson on Friday night, and Sam's recording truck broke down, got nothing, got absolutely nothing. So we did the whole thing, and we called the Opry we were working at Opryland the next 2 days, and we called them and they said, yeah, we'd love to try to get it recorded. So first gospel album that was ever recorded at the Grand Ole Opry was at Stand Up in Opryland, USA by the Kings. They introduced, it was a great record for us. Number one song.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
Record of the year, video of the year, all that. But we actually cut those songs the night before for the live album
In Jackson.
in Mississippi.
But it broke, but you didn't get any of it, so you had to redo it.
Did not get a thing.
Wow.
So we came back next year and did Mississippi Live.
Now we know the story. And I loved Mississippi Live. I thought that was a fantastic album.
Great record.
It really
Great
was.
record.
It really was. Well, Greg, we're going to go out and play this one if you will give us our permission. You may not even remember this, but I always loved it so much. This comes from the Judgment album, 1993. Yes. And they did a band feature on that project. Do you remember this?
Yes, ma'am.
There's no telling how many times I listened to this when I was a teenager. And I'd like to go back and play it today if you're okay with it. It's that I Saw the Light.
I'm just honored. I saw the light.
It was fantastic. It featured every single band member, one at a time. It gave everybody a solo, and I thought it was fantastic. So we're going to go out and play this and take a little trip down memory lane. But before we leave, Greg, I want to tell you how much I've enjoyed this today and featuring Carolina all week long. You and all of Carolina have a friend here on the morning show. I hope you won't ever forget that.
Oh, we're honored, and we love you. We thank you so much. We appreciate what you do. You're doing a great job. A lot of times you listen to radio and man, it's just really not good. And I get bad. But what you're doing is so good. It's professional, and you're playing the right kind of songs.
We're trying to make it better. We're trying to get it right.
We may have a friend in you, but you sure have a friend with Carolina. I can promise you that.
I appreciate that. I've met you many times through the years, but I hope I get to meet the rest of the guys soon.
Well, let's come to Mississippi and have a singing. What do you say?
Hey, we'll try to work that out. We'll try to work that out real soon. Okay, Greg?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. It's been a whole lot of fun. We're going out with the Kingsman Band, 1993. I Saw the Light.